This year, the venues were Celtic Park and Tannadice. Rangers going into their 38th match with a 2-point advantage over their age-old rivals. The pressure then on Gordon Strachan's men as they played host to third-placed Hearts. There were famous faces in the stands, uncertainty over which players might still be at the club next season, and a nervousness that the long run as champions was about to end. The Tynecastle side travelled through in the back of successive clean sheets, and in a high after booking their European place. They were sure to be tough opposition. Party time at Tannadice as United celebrated their centenary. But the only party on Rangers' minds was a championship one. A win would guarantee success, end Celtic's run of 3 in a row, and also open the Europa League door for Aberdeen. Rangers' big fear would have been United's record in the big games this season, and against the Ibrox side in recent years. They too would have been expecting a formidable challenge. Commentary from Liam McLeod.
An early goal would really settle the Rangers' nerves, that's for sure. Davis fighting for it. Does well, tigerish work by the Northern Irishman. Boyd across, it's gone in and it's Lafferty! 6 minutes in! And Rangers have one hand on the SPL trophy. It's a man who was dogged with controversy last weekend, who puts Rangers in front at Tannadice. And you can almost hear the tension being lifted from the Rangers support. They get the early goal they craved, and it's Lafferty who provides it. United come forward. They want Europe, of course. Dundee United, Conway's ball in. Not enough power in the header from David Robertson. The goal-scoring midfielder down into the ground, easy for Alexander. That's prodded through by Cadiz. Goodwillie gets past Bugera. It's a wonderful challenge from Sasa Papac. Such an important block here from the Bosnian, because Goodwillie got away from Bugera. Craig Levein and Peter Houston really do want to seal a European spot for Dundee United in their centenary year.
Picked up by Michael Stewart. Brown in there again, industrious as ever. Tries to flick it through, we'll get it back, goes for the long shot, pushed away, Scott McDonald! You would have bet on him rippling the net. Nice interchange with Brown, good push away for the goalkeeper. He went for power, not precision. Should have scored, and he knows it. It's neat from Celtic once more. McGeady picks up, McGeady 20 yards out, good save. Marianne Kello facing Celtic for the first time and facing them in fine form. Good play from McGeady, let fly, good touch onto the post. Celtic have netted in the last 10 home SPL against Hearts. Hearts clear again. Out to Hartley, deflection, good save. That may have come off the boot of Lee Wallace as it went through from Paul Hartley. Brought it down on the chest, well kept it down, it was the touch off the defender. Celtic pushing again, looking for the opening goal. Aidan McGeady, Nakamura is wide open, onto Nakamura, touched away from the keeper and no takers. Push wide, McDonald into Hartley, deflected, Zaliukas and wide. Well, Kello demands better protection than this. He made the initial stop, no Celtic forward gambled. It's a tough day already for Gordon Strachan.
That's good play, Papac. He's had a good first half for Rangers. Mendes is there, Lafferty's arriving in the middle, so too is Chris Boyd. It's still Boyd, and still Boyd! And off the line by Kovacevic. Well, how important will that prove to be? Just that moment there. Well, it was Chris Boyd, it seemed to take an eternity to sit for him. Back he swerved, good turn, but Kovacevic denies him. Rangers goal machine must have thought he had secured the title there.
Nielsen looking for Nadi, flicked on, Kalimeli brings a chance, Elliott beats Bonic just off the line. It's Gary Caldwell. Well, the throw in, it was knocked on Elliott, didn't really catch it cleanly off Boric and thumped clear. Well, the nerves are evident.
Edu and Boyd, Whittaker, Boyd again. Edu. Oh, it was a crunching tackle from Darren Dodds. The referee, Dougie McDonald's, got a decision to make here. It was a tough challenge from Darren Dodds on Maurice Edu. Both feet were left in there from the Dundee United centre half. Will be Papach with the free kick. It was blocked by the wall. Mendes! 2-0! Rangers are marching towards the SPL title. Pedro Mendes, who only seems to score screamers. The Rangers bench celebrate. And before half-time, it's Dundee United 0, Rangers 2, and it's the Ibrox sides to lose now. What a great finish. Well, Maurice Edu looks like he could have been in an offside position. Rangers won't care about that now. Mendes, it's sat for him beautifully. And Walter Smith, he doesn't look it, but he must be delighted on the inside. Those fans certainly are. Rangers are heading for the title. It's Davis. Whittaker. It's good play from Rangers again. Waiting in the middle, Boyd, and it's number 3. Rangers are waltzing to the championship. And Chris Boyd again has the Ibrox bench in absolute raptures. And no wonder. Waiting in the middle, the Predator pounces again. Lucas Zaluska, absolutely no chance. Rangers have their 3rd goal, and that will effectively seal up their first title since 2005. And you can see what it means to Ali McCoist. A look of sheer jubilation. And then the other side of the coin, the Dundee United fans troop out.
Well, the nerves are evident, but perhaps it's more resignation now than nerves. Nakamura, Celtic sluggish at the start of the second half. O'D plays the ball back to McGeady. Egert Jonsson threw himself in front of Aidan McGeady, but it is the kind of chance Celtic would normally take. That push wide. Nakamura. It's better play. McDonald, little flick on. Venagura Heslett will go up for that, but he won't test the goalkeeper that time. Well, on at half time. Found a little bit of scoring form in the last month or so. And Venagura Heslett with just half a dozen goals for the season. Scott Brown, he hasn't given up. He's still trying to drive that Celtic midfield. Better from Nakamura. Maloney lays it back onto Brown once more. Marianne Kello furious with what he sees in front of him, but he'll certainly be delighted with the way he's playing. Tested this time by Brown shortly. Good touch round. Corners haven't been great, and that one came in from Jan Venagura Hesselink on the end of it. That's the first time Celtic have seriously tested Hearts from the set play. Venagura Hesselink, that's a great run, but Kello again there to block.
Papach away. They're nearly there, Rangers. Kenneth's made a mistake there, though. It's Nacho Novo, the Rangers sub. And Zaluska denies him. On his final United appearance, Novo was clean through as the helicopter hovers above with the SPL trophy. It will be Rangers, and they will end 3 years of Celtic dominance.
Well, it's time to head for the cars. All Celtic have seen in front of them this afternoon is maroon, and as Maloney came across there, found a little bit of space. At least 6 Hearts players in the box to get past. When you know it's over, it's over.
Well, not long to go for the Rangers supporters now. Just 4 minutes left. Gary Kenneth, the United sub, clawed away by Alexander. He wants a clean sheet in this title-clutching day for Rangers. Kenneth must have thought he found the net here. Looping in there was Alexander. Well, the banner says it all. Long one through, Weir gets it half clear, Sandasa's shot goes straight through to Alexander. Seconds left on the clock here before Dougie McDonald blows the full-time whistle and signals Rangers as the 2009 SPL champions. Walter Smith walks across, shakes hands with Peter Houston and Craig Levine. They're almost there, the Ibrox side. There is the full-time whistle. Cue scenes of jubilation from Rangers.
The relief was palpable, the excitement and joy there for all to see. Having played such a major part in 9 in a row, more than a decade later, Walter Smith had turned Rangers into champions again. Fans and players alike celebrated, and there was an explosion of noise at Tannadice as the trophy was handed over. And there it is, the trophy that Rangers were handed yesterday. It's the 52nd time that they have been the Scottish champions. It wasn't perhaps just quite as dramatic an afternoon as we'd anticipated. Rangers made sure of that, didn't they?
They did. It's possibly all about that early goal that Rangers scored, you know, and it's Celtic Park. I was at Celtic Park and it was dead as soon as that happened there. But they started exactly the right way. You know, they had to at a high tempo, and as dull as Celtic were at the start, Rangers were rampant right from the start. And the more I look at this goal by laughing at him, I thought he didn't mean it at first. Now I think he's maybe flicked out a leg there, and that turns out to be a great goal. But you know, they didn't sit back, they didn't look nervy. As you were there, you said, you know, they just went for it. And United are a good team, but they tore them to shreds.
Yeah, they played very good football throughout the game, and perhaps it's just an answer to those who might have been suggesting that they wouldn't deserve the title.
No, and this, by the way, this is a classy goal. I mean, the really good goals look simple. That's a zipped one-touch move. The coaches will love this. Watch boys move, nudges the player in front of him, goes in there, and he makes it look effortless. But only the very best goal scorers make it look effortless, and he's one of the best there is.
Yeah, as you say, I was at Ibrox. It was a wonderful, at Tannadice rather. There was a great atmosphere there. The Rangers fans absolutely loving it. It must have been almost deathly quiet at Celtic Park.
I've never seen that place like that, and you know the fans. They normally try and actually get the team up a little bit, but they just couldn't do it. There were one or two chances, and you know, it's a chance for McDonald there, and normally he's a little bit better than that, gets it on target, but you know, follows it in quite well. But Scott Brown there gets in. He actually had quite a poor game, Scott Brown, but I think that was all got to do with his injuries and nothing more than that. Celtic did make some chances, but if you look at it there, when you want a striker to actually go and finish off a move like Chris Boyce does for Rangers regularly, Celtic just don't have that. And it's a classic example, you know, and it rolls across there and there's nobody at hand. But really that's was Celtic's problem massive way through the season, you know, and even Aidan McGeady, who was one of the better players for parts of the season, doesn't get it on target. And really, particularly the second half of the season, Celtic didn't have that, and they didn't. But Strachan knew they needed it. He tried to buy Fletcher from Hibs, but he didn't have it. He didn't get the money to do it, and that's probably the reason why Celtic faltered.
A lot of people have been pointing the finger at that very thing, that the Celtic board had the chance in the January transfer window to open a huge gap between them and Rangers, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, a lot of people will talk about Gordon Strachan. Did they do the right thing? Was his team right? I mean, I looked at that team and there was no movement up front at all. You know, there was no invention up front at all. Strachan knew that. He tried to actually go and change that in January by getting Stephen Fletcher in. He wasn't able to do it. Now, people would suggest to you that, you know, maybe Fletcher wasn't worth that money. They've just lost £10 million by not getting into the Champions League, so it probably wasn't.
And that's a big plus for Walter Smith. He's already been saying today, we've got this money, we know that we don't need to have the fire sale that was being talked about, and he can start to build for the future, perhaps.
Big fear of having to sell the likes of Bougherra, which would have been a disaster for Rangers. They didn't have to do that. And on top of that, possibly even worse, Celtic had have got that £10 million instead of Rangers. That's a £20 million swing. I couldn't see Rangers coming back for that for many, many years, so they're back in the hunt.